Picture this: a quiet room, an old man who has passed away. On the surface, it seems like a simple, though tragic event. But what if the most important clue is the one you can't see? This is the story of what seemed like a perfect crime, completely unraveled by a single, overlooked detail.
So the scene is set around 7 p.m. An elderly man, Arthur Bennett, he's found in his home. The whole place is quiet, almost peaceful. There are no signs of a struggle, nothing seems out of place at all. It's just, unnervingly normal.
Right away, the doctor's initial thought is pretty straightforward: heart failure. But Arthur's daughter, Emily, she's not buying it. Not for a second. She insists, no, he was perfectly fine this morning. And that one statement, that one little contradiction, that's what kicks off this whole investigation.
So at first, police are looking at what appears to be a natural death. The scene is calm, the facts seem simple, but there's one small detail that plants a tiny seed of doubt.
As they're going through the motions, one thing just jumps out at them: 2 teacups on the table. One is empty, the other is half full. And that means Arthur wasn't alone. He had a visitor.
Well, it doesn't take long to identify that guest, a man named Michael Carter. And when he's questioned, he is cool as a cucumber. He admits, yeah, I stopped by, we had tea, and Arthur was completely fine when I left. His story seems to check out, that is, until the autopsy report comes back.
The post-mortem report lands, and just one word changes absolutely everything: poison. This wasn't a heart attack. This was murder. And all of a sudden, Michael Carter's calm demeanor starts to look a lot more sinister.
So now the investigation has a prime suspect, Michael Carter. But when they start digging for physical evidence to connect him to the crime, they find nothing. It's like they're chasing a ghost.
I mean, the crime scene is spotless. Forensics can only find Arthur's prints on the teacup. There's not a single trace of Michael Carter anywhere else. It's like he was never even there. To the investigators, it looks like an impossible, perfectly executed crime.
And Michael's defense is just as clean as the crime scene. He tells them, I didn't even touch the cup, because he knows they've got nothing on him. And with that, the case just grinds to a halt.
But there's always one person who just can't let it go. This is the real turning point, where one detective decides to take a second look, and that changes the entire case.
Let's talk about Detective Ryan Cooper. He just can't shake this feeling that they've all missed something. So he goes back to the crime scene, sits down right there at the table, and just looks. He's replaying the whole evening in his head, searching for that one detail everyone else just skimmed right over.
And then he sees it, the one object everyone else completely ignored, sitting there in plain sight: the teapot.
And here comes the light bulb moment. What if the poison wasn't put in the cup? What if it was mixed directly into the pot itself? That would mean the killer isn't the one who handled the cup, it's the one who made the tea. Cooper sends the teapot to the lab, and bingo, it comes back positive for poison. This opens up a whole new way of looking at the crime.
And with this new theory, the last piece just clicks into place. When the family is asked, they confirm it. Michael always insisted on making the tea whenever he came over. And suddenly, the lack of fingerprints on that cup makes perfect sense. He never had to touch it.
So Cooper has his theory, but he still doesn't have that hard proof. He decides to play his final card, a direct showdown with Michael.
Michael is just so arrogant. He practically confesses with a smile on his face. He knows a theory isn't enough to convict him, so he taunts the detective, totally confident that he's committed the perfect, evidence-free crime. But Detective Cooper stays completely calm. He just nods and says, "You're right. There is no physical evidence, no fingerprints, no fibers, no witnesses." And then he delivers the line that just shatters Michael's confidence. And here is where the detective lays out the trap. He explains that while Michael was so carefully wiping away every physical trace, he completely forgot about the digital one. Turns out he was on a business call while making the tea, and as company's policy, they record all their calls.
And on that recording, right after pouring the poisoned tea, are the words that seal his fate. "It's done. No one will ever find out." It's not physical evidence. It's so much better. It's a confession. You can just imagine Michael's face turning white. Game over.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? The final report on the case said it all. The killer thought he was safe because there was no evidence. But in the end, his own words became the only evidence that really mattered.
This case really highlights a huge shift in modern crime solving. You know, physical evidence can be cleaned up, wiped away. It proves you were there. But digital evidence, a text, an email, a recorded phone call, that stuff is often permanent. And it doesn't just prove you were there, it can prove intent. It can prove what you were thinking.
Which brings us to the final, really powerful line from this story. It's a heck of a reminder that, in an age where our lives are constantly being recorded in some way, the most damning evidence might not be what we leave behind, but what we say out loud.